Hi friends, today is Wednesday, May 6th, 2020. Today I'm going to read two stories again. I'm going to read one about plants and then I'm going to read a version of Jack and the Beanstalk. This first one is called Growing Vegetable Soup and it's written and illustrated by Lois Ehlert. That means not only did she write the words, she also did the pictures. Growing Vegetable Soup. So at the beginning of this book, it has a Meet the Author page, and it says, Meet Lois Ehlert. Lois Ehlert says, I write and draw about things I know about and care about. I think that having a garden most of my life gave me ideas for growing vegetable soup. Now, when we do our writer's workshop at school, I'm always telling you to write about what you know. It's your life. You're the expert of it. So that's what Lois Ehlert has done, too. She has written about something she's the expert of. Dad says we are going to grow vegetable soup. We're ready to work, and our tools are ready too. We are planting the seeds. Here's the seed package. These are garden gloves. They have a hole, the soil, a green bean seed, a pea seed, a corn seed, a zucchini squash seed, and carrot seeds. And all the sprouts. This is a tomato stick. Potato eyes are down here. That's what you plant from a potato, that when it starts to grow the little eyes on them, the little roots, that's the part you plant, 2 of them. This is broccoli. This is a set of onions and peat moss pots. These are pots that you can plant right in the ground and they will disintegrate. And they have grown peppers and cabbages. And giving them water. Here's the watering can. Plants need water to soften up the seed coat so that the plant that's already inside can start to grow, and waiting for warm sun to make them grow. And grow, get bigger, and grow into plants. So this is a pea plant and they need to have something to grow on, to attach to. This is the blossom from a squash. We watch over them and weed. So take the weeds out or else the weeds will take up all the space and take up all the nutrients and water until the vegetables are ready for us to pick. When you pick vegetables, it's called harvesting or dig up. Remember some of those plants that you have to dig up? Potatoes, onions, radishes, beets, carrots, and carry home. Then we wash them and cut them and put them in a pot of water, broccoli, potato, onion, carrot, zucchini, and cook them into vegetable soup. At last, it's time to eat it all up. It was the best soup ever. And we can grow it again next year. Look at all these fruits and vegetables. Figs and strawberries and tangerines and apples and bananas are fruits, and peppers and green beans, broccoli, potatoes, onions, eggplant, zucchini are vegetables. All right, so I'm going to read one more story. It's another version of Jack and the Beanstalk. This one's a little bit longer. Once upon a time, when giants stomped the land, a widow lived with her son Jack. The widow was too sick to work, and one day they ran out of money. Son, Jack's mother said, I'm too weak to take the cow to town. You must go and sell her. Now, Jack was brave and kind-hearted, but he didn't always use his head, so his mother told him to think carefully before selling the cow. Jack promised he would. He was halfway to town when a man stopped him. Jack, said the man, I'll give you 5 magic beans for your cow. Jack thought, how could this stranger know my name? And how could he know that I'm selling the cow? He must have magic powers. Then the beans must be magic too. He traded the cow for the beans and went home, very pleased with the deal. What do you think? Do you think Mom's going to be pleased with the deal? His mother was not pleased. "You were tricked, you silly boy," she cried. "There were no such thing as magic beans." Angrily, she threw the beans out the window. "Now we have no cow and no money," she said. "What shall we do?" The next morning, something tickled Jack's nose and woke him up. Surprised, Jack saw a huge leaf had poked in his window. He pushed it away and peeked outside. A thick beanstalk stretched up, its top hidden by the clouds. "They were magic beans," he whispered. Without waking his mother, Jack started climbing the beanstalk. His arms and legs began to ache, but he forgot all about them when he saw the castle. Jack knocked on the castle door. A giant woman opened it. "Who's there?" she asked, peering around. "I don't see so well. Speak up." Jack wasn't sure that he wanted her to see him, but he was very hungry. "I'm down here," he said. "Do you have any work I can do for food?" The giantess picked up Jack by his collar and plopped him on a huge stone floor. "Start scrubbing," she ordered. Thud, thud, thud. "Oh," said the woman, "it's my husband. Hide in the cupboard so he doesn't eat you. Scrub the floor later." The giant came in, took one sniff, and said, "Fee-fi-fo-fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." "Don't be silly," said his wife. "You smell breakfast. Eat while it's hot." After breakfast, the giant opened his bags of gold. He began counting the pieces, but he fell asleep after 135,091. That's a lot of gold coins. Just a little gold would feed Mother and me for a long time, Jack thought. He snatched a small bag and climbed quickly down the beanstalk. Jack's mother was delighted, but when she heard where Jack had gotten the gold, she hugged him tight. "Those giants robbed us of that gold and 2 other treasures," she said. "They took your father away from me. I grabbed you and escaped. Promise that you won't go back for more gold." Jack promised. The next morning he climbed the beanstalk again. "I promised not to go back for gold," the boy thought as he climbed. "I didn't say I wouldn't go back for something else. After all, it was ours." Jack banged on the castle door. The giantess squinted her eyes and peered down at him. "Are you the thief who was here yesterday?" she demanded. "I'm no thief," Jack said. "I'm a hard worker, though, and I expect to be paid for it." The giantess picked up Jack by his collar and plopped him in front of a huge tub of dirty dishes. "Start washing," she ordered. Thud, thud, thud. "Ah," said the giantess, "my husband. Hide in the cupboard so he doesn't eat you. Do the dishes later." The giant came in, took one sniff, and said, "Fee-fi-fo-fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive?" Yeah, interrupted his wife. "You smell breakfast. Eat it while it's hot." The giant grumbled, but he ate. Then he got a goose from a crate in the corner. He put the goose on the table and roared, "Lay!" The goose honked twice, then waddled back to its crate. On the table was a golden egg. The giant tossed it up and down like a ball. Then his eyes began to hurt from looking at the shiny gold, so he shut them. That's different, isn't it? In the other version, it was a hen, not a goose. As soon as the giant fell asleep, Jack grabbed the goose and quickly slid down the beanstalk. His mother was waiting at the bottom of the beanstalk. She was very angry with Jack. "I didn't exactly promise not to go up again," Jack explained. "You knew that you weren't supposed to," said his mother. "Go to your room." Jack knew that he shouldn't, but the next morning before his mother woke up, he climbed up to the castle. Instead of banging on the door, he crawled into the kitchen window when the giantess wasn't looking. "The giant's wife hid me in the cupboard," Jack thought. "I'll hide somewhere else." He climbed into the washtub. Soon he heard thud, thud, thud. The giant came in, took one sniff, and said, "Fee-fi-fo-fum. I smell—" "You certainly do," interrupted his wife. "That little thief probably sneaked in again. He always likes to hide in the cupboard." But Jack wasn't there. The giant ate his breakfast. Then he got out his golden harp. "Play!" he roared. The harp sounded like a sparkling stream pouring over pebbles. The lady of the harp sang a song with no words. Jack was entranced. The music put the giant to sleep. Jack grabbed the harp, but he almost dropped it when it screamed, "Master, master!" The giant woke and thudded after Jack. Jack half scrambled, half slid down the beanstalk. "Mother!" he yelled. "Grab the axe!" Jack's mother saw the giant close behind. She grabbed the axe and whacked the beanstalk. "Jump, Jack, jump!" she hollered and whacked again. Jack jumped to the ground. He snatched the axe and whacked the stalk until it snapped in two. Kaboom! The giant and the beanstalk hit the ground together, and that was the end of the giant. Jack, his mother, the goose, and the harp lived very, very happily together, except for the time Jack went to town to buy a pig. But that's another story. So in this version of the story, they tell us why Jack's mother knew about those things, because they had been hers before, and the giants had stolen them from her. All right, so today, friends, we're going to be doing a very tricky lowercase letter. All right, this letter is the letter E. And let me show you how to make the uppercase E so that you don't forget. It is one of those frog jumping letters. Here's our rectangle that looks like our door. Hi, smileys up in the corner. Uppercase E is a big line down. Jump back up and do a little line at the top, a little line in the middle, and a little line at the bottom. Now the lowercase e is very different than the uppercase. You're going to have two lines. This is really the dotted line, remember. Two lines. And you're going to start in the middle of the two lines. You're going to start about right here. And you're going to do a straight line across. It's called hit the ball. And then you go up and curve around. And we say around the bases. And you have to make sure that he sits back on the bottom line. Right? Start about here. Hit the ball. Go up, 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 around the bases, just like in baseball. Start here. Hit the ball around the bases, just like in baseball. All right? Make sure you get to your Google Classroom today, and I will see you tomorrow.